Greetings! Everything is connected with everything else. The problem is to find the connections. Welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and today we are continuing our mini-campaign of Dirty Secrets. This is a story game that takes on the detective genre by having the players introduce story elements and suspicious characters that ultimately will form a pattern of some kind. We're not sure what kind, but we'll figure it out as the investigator puts the pieces together. One player is the investigator, and the others are authorities. Let us go around and introduce everyone. That's right. I didn't ask for a specific thing, so I think for introducing, I'll introduce my fellow authorities first, and say maybe a thing that you can say who you are and a little bit about yourself, and anything maybe from the last session that you want to see more of, or that you introduced and wanted to talk about or deal with. Let's just a thing. I will go to Lulu first. Hello. It appears as though the internet has struck.
Hiya, how are you?
Hey, can you hear us?
Some drop frames there for a second.
Sorry, everyone. So, can you guys hear me?
You all right? Yeah.
That's all working?
Yeah.
Great.
Gotcha.
So I'm Lulu H. I'm here to play Poppy. Has been my main character so far. I didn't quite hear what we were meant to say to introduce ourselves. Sorry.
Introduce yourself, and you can talk about Poppy if you like. That's cool.
Cool. Yeah, so I play a character that is fun yet incredibly stupid. So look forward to meeting her.
Indeed. We were just basically introducing ourselves and saying just a thing that either we introduced last time or just a thing we're interested in seeing more about that came up last time. And we will move to Anino. Hello.
There we go. Hit the unmute button there. Hi, I'm Anino. I am a charity and variety streamer. From last session, I introduced a character who was a cardiothoracic surgeon. So he had a very uncomfortable meeting with our detective, and we're hoping to escalate and resolve that, or not resolve that. We don't know yet.
It's actually very interesting just to see what I'm actually now really curious to see what the escalation would look like. This is gonna be cool. I think this is gonna be cool. Of course, I introduced a character last time by the name of Samuel Logan, who is a kind of a mogul. He's still kind of in many ways vaguely defined. We know he's played by The Rock, but he had acquired for his company a property called Lit Katie, which is an app that is going to kind of be like an Uber for musicians, or a way of booking musicians ahead of time that they're getting ready for release for, and he's being blackmailed. Apparently, there's someone who left a very garbled and strange blackmail letter that I was trying to figure out as I was writing it, basically. That sort of was telling us that that they want the code and money, various monies. But let us then also go to our investigator, Dingo. Hello.
Hi, I'm Dingo. I'm playing the investigator, Danny Sullivan, who's a fresh new private investigator, taken on her first case, and I'm very excited to kind of explore what I'm very excited to see Danny's mom for the first time, Viv. That's gonna be very fun. I think there's a lot to go on there, and I'm also very nervous and excited to see how I'm gonna go about solving that massive screw up I had with Dr. Alexander.
Indeed.
Not sure how to go about that yet, but I'm pretty sure something's gonna come to a head one way or another. So,
and we're gonna have some things happen. I feel like we need to have more noir tropes happen tonight. that we can have just sudden, strange, terrible, violent things happen that will eventually connect up to something. I'm not sure what. But that's how this game goes. The whole idea is that we just basically introduce stuff and then it gets woven together. So in fact, actually, as we were talking about this, I was just thinking about this, and I probably should have asked about this before we started streaming, but I will ask now. Dingo, you were taking notes last time, were you not?
I was taking some notes, yes.
If you're up to it, and you don't have to do this if you do not wish to, but I was thinking it might be cool if Danny were to be doing a bit of narration on this, as though we are reading her detective novel about the things that happened last time. Do you have any idea of what she might say?
I can give it a shot. So I think if this were like a noir comic or like a noir show, we'd see Danny sort of back at her desk in the dark, stereotypical PI's office, and the green lamp on her desk is lit up and she's holding a cup of coffee and sort of looking over her notes. And I think we hear the monologue of someone's out to get Samuel Logan, or at least get the codes to his brand new fancy app. He seems to think it's his heart surgeon, Dr. Mark Alexander, but I'm not convinced. I'm looking more in the direction of someone closer. Constance, the assistant he has. She seems pretty busy. Maybe she's got a chip on her shoulder. Seemed to think I was there to do some shady business during what she calls overtime. We'll find out what that is. As far as Dr. Alexander goes, I tried to follow up with him. It didn't go well. Sort of made a fool of myself. I might just have to come clean, try the straight shot approach. But I also managed to get a bug on him, so maybe I'll get something there.
I utterly forgot that you had planted a bug. Sorry, go ahead.
All I know is that there are things that Samuel's hiding from me. Makes my job harder. Was very keen or very excited to show me a stab wound on his chest, but wouldn't say what happened. Makes me think that maybe it was something way back in the day. Something my mom might know about. And then there's Poppy. She's so well-intentioned. Tried to see if there's anything that she knew about, any little rumors floating about, but no such luck. I gave her the stab wound info to see if she could follow up with anything, but we'll see how far she goes with it. She can be a little spacey at times. But now I'm here. Still on the search, still on the hunt. I think it's, as much as it hurts my pride, I think my best resource might be my mom.
Interesting. Cool. All right. So the way this game works, we each take turns as the authority, although really that's mostly just down to who has final say during a given scene. And we play these in sequences, and sort of figure it out. The investigator proposes a sequence, and the authority then either rejects it and counters with another sequence, or goes ahead and accepts the sequence. In which case, I believe you actually, if you've lost any dice as an authority, you get a die back if you do that. But we haven't had any conflicts yet, so that does not yet come into play. But when we last had transitioned over, I had the gavel once again. So Dingo, do you have a scene that you would like to propose?
Yeah, I would actually like to propose a revelation scene.
Okay, now that has very special rules. I am actually interested kind of in seeing if you want to create a new connection, forge a new connection between two characters. I would like to see that in play, so I think I am going to go ahead and have us do that. This can be any of the characters that are on the board, not even on the, sorry, board is a bad word here. Any character we've mentioned so far, so that can even include Viv, even though she's not a suspect yet. Did I say yet? I mean not a suspect. Yes, that's it. That's totally what I meant to say completely. So let's do that. Let me go ahead and pull that info up here real quick. I also have to move a thing over here.
So what I remember about revelation scenes is that I think the investigator picks either the type of relationship it's going to be, or one of the people in the relationship.
That sounds right. I now have it here. The revelation sequence creates a new relationship between two characters in the game the investigator has just discovered. The investigator must narrate the relationship and the events that bring it to the investigator's attention. It can be the result of patient research, an anonymous tip, forensic evidence, or whatever else the investigator desires. The investigator may either choose one of the characters in the relationship or define the nature of the relationship. And so which one of those two do you want to do?
So I'm gonna choose one of the characters.
Okay, so choose one character. Select one of the characters involved in the relationship. You select the character that you want, and then I will choose one character who will not be involved in the relationship, and then we or a type that you'd have to reroll one of those two things, and then we randomly choose what character they're connected to. So, which character do you want to make sure is in there?
I mean, obviously, Vivian.
Oh, you want to choose Vivian? Okay. Well, there we are. Who do I want to make sure is not involved here?
Or the type.
Or the type. That's a good point. These are all so good. I think,
yeah, honestly, I'd be excited about any of the types. So
yes, that's true. There are three types: the sexual / romantic, familial, or business. And I think given who we have on our list right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose... I think I'm going to take familial off the board right now. Probably, since I think it would be interesting if Vivian ends up being connected to any of these other characters in some way or another. But yeah, I think that it would be... I think I feel like we need to have more characters before we want to forge more familial connections. Because there's, a certain point where it gets to be like, well, what a coincidence, that kind of thing. I think that would be the weirdest coincidence. Not completely unwelcome, but I think we need a little more time before something like that gets revealed. So, that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 characters that, and I'm just going to read this as kind of basically a D4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, down the list that we have. So, Dingo, if you would go ahead and roll a D4. 2. Okay. So that would mean that Vivian has a connection with Dr. Alexander of some kind. So, investigators. Sorry, just making sure that we're doing this here. Now, both of these are subject to appeal before the investigator generates a relationship. That's true. After the investigator determines the relationship, the investigator narrates it. Before we proceed, does anyone want to appeal that? Do we want to just keep? Are we good with it? Okay. All right. After the investigator determines the relationship, then narrates how the investigator discovered this information, and the investigator has jurisdiction for this narration. So this is a point where, basically, Dingo, you are now making up for us. Tell us what you find out and how you find it out.
Do we? When do we roll for relationship type?
That's an excellent question. We probably should have done that by now. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, or 6. So we can also read this as a. It's a D6 that we re-roll if we get a 3 or a 4. So we could just treat this as another D4 roll. Do you want to do that?
Sure.
So it's either going to be a romantic relationship or a business relationship.
Okay. I'll just roll another D4.
Yeah, so it's going to be 3. So it's a business relationship.
Okay.
Is what this will end up being. So Vivian has a business relationship of some kind with Dr. Alexander. And
okay. And I think I kind of want to role play this discovery out.
Okay. What? Well, you have jurisdiction for this. So what's happening? Where are you? What's happening?
So I think. Danny goes over to her mom's house the next day. It's probably sometime in the afternoon. She's walking over and she pulls out her set of keys. She obviously has a key to her mom's apartment, and she opens the door. And I think her mom's not there yet. I think she knows that her mom won't be there for at least 20 minutes. And she closes the door and she looks around. It's kind of a typical old lady's apartment. There's a lot of like knitting and quilts, and it's this weird blend of like old leather furniture and like this sweet like knitting. And I think she heads over to, it's a 2-bedroom apartment. She heads back to where the office is. I think she's sitting down at the desk, and she kind of looks through some of the old mail, just glancing over at it. And at the same time, I think she's sort of waking up the computer and typing in her mom's password. It's probably something like Danny's first name and her birthday or something like that. And do I get to here's my question. Do you guys get to decide what this business relationship is, or do I get to decide that?
It looks like you get to decide it from what I'm reading here. I will double check here if you wish. As these 3 characters, the investigator card, and both the investigator. After the investigator determines, the investigator narrates how the investigator discovered this information. After the investigator determines the relationship, the investigator must narrate the relationship and the events that bring it to the investigator's attention. So this is you deciding, basically. If you would like help, we can pitch in, but
I think I'm gonna leave it a little bit open-ended. I think she's sort of looking through old files on her mom's computer and kind of just scrolling around, and I think she finds some kind of like email or document or invoice or something for a large amount of money that I can't decide if I want Vivian to have paid it to Dr. Alexander or Dr. Alexander to have paid her.
You can always flip a coin if you want to go that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a D2. Okay. So a large amount of money that Dr. Alexander paid to Vivian, and Danny would know that this is way more than Vivian would have normally charged for for like her investigative services. But it doesn't reference what it was for, and she knows that her mom has like the typical invoice process for an investigation.
Okay. Cool. So is that the entirety of it then?
Yeah, I think that's the entirety of the revelation.
Okay. So you discover this. That's the end of that sequence. That does not end the chapter. So now you get to propose another sequence.
Okay. I'm going to propose an investigation. And I think it's going to be right off the back of this, discovering this relationship in her mom's office. I think she's waiting for her mom to get home. She sort of puts everything back in its place, puts the computer back to sleep,
Okay.
and makes a cup of tea in the kitchen and waits for her mom to get home at the dining room table.
We can totally do that. So, that being the case, it must be determined, first off, who is going to... we were talking about this a little bit off before we started. Who is going to be Vivian. We didn't really so much have a consensus on it per se. It could be anyone. But I think as far as I'm concerned, who has an idea that they want to make sure gets through in this scene? Let's start with that. Show of hands, who has ideas they want to get through in this scene to express through Vivian? Okay. So if we're fairly nonplussed about it...
So I'm trying to...
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, good. I'm actually not muted. So I guess the question is whether or not Vivian is going to tell Danny what the business transaction was about, or if she's going to stonewall her. I'm kind of leaning towards the stonewalling just because, out of professional courtesy, investigators just shouldn't, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Shouldn't disclose their work just because it leads them up to liabilities and such down the line. So
Okay. All right.
I mean, does anybody have any objections to that?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I want her to be a fun mom. I'm excited to see how they interact with each other. So I guess.
So therefore, both I can see her. So I can see her both stonewalling her and being a fun mom. Those to me, are not mutually exclusive. Does that make sense?
No, I don't think so either. But yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I have any particular plot direction that I think.
All right. So he's kind
She's
of
gonna
wanting to
drive it in.
See what happens. Okay. That being the case, keeping that in mind, I actually don't have anything in my head as far as personality stuff goes. I think, just from the way that I'm reading this, the most we have as far as personality stuff, I think Lulu has at least some ideas for personality. So would you like to go ahead and play Vivian for this scene? All right.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
Let's go,
The
Danny.
main thing being, though, she is trying to keep, perhaps she's trying to protect Danny in some way or another. We don't know exactly what her motives are, but she's not necessarily going to want to talk about this, her connection with Dr. Alexander. All right. So when, Danny is, when you're sort of, what room do you usually, are you waiting in for your mother to arrive?
I think other than the two like bedrooms, most of the apartment is kind of like open, as like most apartments are. So I think she's waiting in like the breakfast nook, like dining room. Like she probably has a little table with like 3 chairs set up, sort of just off to the side of the kitchen, and I think that's where Danny's
Probably like a little plate of biscuits. For Danny. Love
Yeah,
that.
I think Danny's kind of waiting. There's definitely a tin of those like shortbread cookies.
Yeah, definitely.
Is
That Danny's kind of munching on and waiting.
is Viv single?
Yeah.
Viv-
Well, I think
Viv-
Viv is like kind of person that like picks up men and like has fun and then like goes home by herself.
Okay, so there probably aren't necessarily, so there probably aren't signs of someone else having been here necessarily. This is probably just her place. If she then goes home afterward. All right, let us. So let's see if we can proceed along here. Get that going. So yeah. So Danny, you're hanging out, and you hear a key in the door. And the door opens, and your mother is standing there. What does she look like?
Are you asking me? Or are you asking?
I'm asking anyone who wishes to answer at this time.
She should wear the same glasses that Danny wears. The big glasses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, let me grab.
It's like a real familial relationship between them.
Yes.
But, like,
Big round glass.
That little like round face though, and it's slightly lined. So she's just got this little chubby round face and little lines, and she's always like a little smiley. But
Mm-hmm.
so like if you look at her, you know she's the kind of woman. And I like to imagine she's probably got like a sweater on that like Danny made for her when she was practicing her knitting. So it's like a little bit like not quite right. You know, the neck's a bit messy, but she loves it. She's like, oh yes, my daughter made this for me. Really like trundling in with a big bowl of like big knitting material. She's making her way inside.
Yeah, I think Danny's just flipping through a magazine, and she doesn't even look up. She just goes, "Hi, Mom. How was knitting club?"
Just as a side note, wouldn't it be funny if the knitting club was also nicknamed the Roses?
Oh my god. That could be it. Oh my god. We could.
I
go
love
way.
that.
We totally go that way if you so desire.
She probably like sees Danny. Goes, "Oh hi, sweetheart. Did you eat the biscuits?" They're
Well, I think
Oh, did
we're
I
having
cut out a bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I think makes and she sees Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you like the biscuits? They're a new brand.
Yeah, I see you decided to go for the name brand instead of the off brand. They're pretty good. I mean, honestly, I can't tell the difference, Mom. They're both good
Aw.
either way.
I mean, I'd make them myself, but you know, there's something about cooking. I mean, you and I. Ready meals, am I right? They were invented for people like us. And she probably starts like unpacking the material she bought.
I mean, now that you're retired, you probably could take like a cooking class or something. I'm sure Seattle's riddled with cooking classes.
I mean, like, I guess I could. I never really thought about what I could do in my retirement. Such a clip. How is things?
That's because you work too hard,
How's
Mom.
the investigating going?
It's going fine. I got my first case. Someone you may know. Someone we've worked with before.
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks.
Oh no. I mean, that's good because you're good and I know that you can do it. Absolutely. Do you need some help?
Wow, Mom.
Yeah. No, I
love
don't. You
so
know
much.
that I believe in you. Oh my gosh.
I know you
No.
say you believe in me, Mom.
I do. And she like cups your little face. It's just like, I do. You're so clever. You're so like me. I know you can do this.
And
You know,
yeah,
it's
you're
normal.
worried that what? I'm gonna ruin your reputation?
No, it's a difficult job. It's a really tricky job. Yeah.
I know how tricky of a job is, Mom. I watched you do it my whole life. Don't you even want to know who it is?
And you're going to be so good. You are. Holds back for a
Love.
second.
Go.
It's fine.
Oh,
No, I
no.
turned it off to try and store bandwidth.
Oh,
Just
okay.
for a sec. To see
Cool,
if I
cool.
can
Oh,
turn it
okay.
off. Just ignore me for a sec.
Oh, no problem.
That's okay.
I shall
Yeah, I
fix the
think
thing.
Danny finally looks up at her mom and goes, "Thanks for the vote of confidence." Don't you even want to know who it is?
Of course I do. Yes, definitely. I want to know who it is.
Okay, so you remember Samuel Logan?
Yes. Very smart man. Yes, he's lovely. Oh, what's he got you doing?
Well, I mean, probably up to no good, but that's none of my business.
Oh,
He's
honey,
got
all
this
our
new
clients
app.
are up to no good.
Yeah, you're right. But he's got this new app, Lit Katie, and apparently he's being blackmailed into giving up the code for Lit Katie.
Okay. All right.
Seems to think it's his doctor, his heart surgeon that's doing it. He showed me his stab wound. That was pretty impressive. Did he have that back when you worked with him?
Yeah, I've seen him once or twice. He's between you and me, he's a little too proud of. I don't think
he's
he has
proud
many
of it.
other stab wounds. It's weird, right? It's
It is.
weird.
It is weird. What happened there? Like,
Oh, clients. They like to think they're big bad boys and they just sort of go after these things. And she starts pouring you a cup of tea and she offers it to you. And like, you look like you haven't been eating much. Have you been eating?
yes, Mom, I've been eating fine. It's boxed mac and cheese for 7 days straight.
Oh, well, that's good. You've got calcium in the milk. Great.
Yes, I'll have strong bones well into my old age. Hold off that osteoporosis.
Well, I ate boxed mac and cheese and I don't have osteoporosis, so yes, that's how our family eats.
I'm glad to see it's genetic. So you don't have any idea what that stab wound is at all?
Oh,
He
honey.
must have told you. You guys were so close.
Oh, sweetheart, I'm just going to place a hand on your shoulder and I'm going to tell you something. I only ever listen to clients when they're telling something interesting. Otherwise, we just pretend to listen. I have no idea.
Wait, a client getting stabbed isn't interesting?
No, because he never paid me to investigate it. Sweetheart,
Alright.
you don't get paid much per hour. You've got to up the profits, Just cut out the unimportant information. He's fine. He's healed. He thinks it's his heart surgeon. Go, read the heart surgeon's mail. Have some fun. Dress up like a doctor. Ah, it's so exciting. So happy for you.
Yeah, I tried that. It didn't go well.
Oh,
I went to this, like, you know, the bar that all the doctors go to, and
oh yeah,
tried to say that I was an intern, and then or not an intern, or like a young, you know, fresh out of medical school, and read right through me. He read right through me. He's super smart.
And I think at this point you hear this like old lady chuckle, like she's just so amused.
And I tried to salvage it once it went south by saying I was some kind of like gold digger for doctors. I don't think I have quite the knack for pretending and acting that you did.
Oh, sweetheart, let me tell you. The first time I went undercover, I ended up going down a trash route. Right down the trash chute. It was... Exactly. I think it was a first, honestly. But I thought I was doing the right thing because I told him I was a garbage woman. And I forgot that back then, you know, garbage women weren't really... Equality wasn't the best when I was growing up. But now it is the best. And you're going to go out and you're going to impress this man. You're going to get some information. Just think positive, you know?
I don't know. I think
pretend to be a secretary.
It's gonna be hard to. It's gonna be hard to impress Dr. Mark Alexander.
Mark Alexander?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch her face when I name drop.
It changes for a second, and then she's like, "Oh well, that's nice. Good luck. Doctors are all the same," and starts like busying tidying up the kitchen.
I don't know. He seems very different. He seems really different to me. Did you ever or go ahead.
Work with him? What? Oh, sweetheart, I've worked with so many doctors. Mark Alexander. I've got to be honest, you know, he sounds more like a jeweler than a doctor to me. Like the fashion label, but, you know, I'll go through some of my old records, see if I can dig something up. All right? How about that?
I think Danny looks down for a second and then looks back up. Mom, I know when you're lying to me.
Okay. I didn't eat boxed mac and cheese every day for 3 years.
That's not what I meant, and you know that's not what I meant.
Well, sweetheart, lying? I'm an old woman. I'm too old for that.
More lies, Mom. Just, I know you're good at lying. I watched you.
Pat your cheeks. Like, you clearly haven't eaten. You're hangry. You were like this as a toddler, and you're.
Mom, I'm a grown woman. Whatever.
Oh, you'll always be a baby to me.
That's the problem, Mom. I'm not a baby anymore. So whatever you're holding back, you don't need to hold back for. I was your assistant for years. There's nothing you can say that's going to surprise me or that's going to make me think any different of you or.
Now look, you know that I loved your father. There is nothing going on between us. Or any doctor that would make you think any differently of me. Okay, I've worked with hundreds of doctors. I will go through my files, and I will send you one of those text things that you showed me to send. Okay? I can do that.
Mom, I know about the money. The money that you got from Dr. Alexander.
You do? Okay. Did he tell you about that?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Well, cool. If you're not at liberty to stay, then this conversation is done. Are you staying for dinner?
Why don't you just tell me what the money was for? I know it wasn't for an investigation. Otherwise, I would have known about it.
I didn't always do. No, it wasn't. Look, investigating doesn't always pay well. And what does pay well is building things that are things that people like our clients can enjoy themselves at. Why don't you go have some gardening lessons? Learn about some roses, yeah? They're lovely.
That's the second time I've heard about the roses.
Yeah.
Where would I go, Mom, to learn about gardening?
Northwood. Go to Northwood. Tell them I sent you.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, well, take care of yourself.
Always do. And I think I will be staying for dinner. What's on the menu? Box mac and cheese?
With peas in it.
Oh, getting fancy tonight.
Skip woman day.
Yeah, and I think that's where the scene ends.
Yeah, totally. Okay, that was interesting. All right. I loved that. I loved that interaction. So go ahead then, and you're gonna move the pawn one.
Do I move it from where it is, or do I forget? Do we roll?
No, you from where it is.
Okay.
If you can make a legal move, which you can, you just move it one space. Without going into a space with a name. So you can either move it. You can only move it
up or down.
Vertically right now. Yeah.
I'll go up.
Righto.
And I'm going to put. I forget. Just so I know for the future. Can I put repeat names?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good to know, but I think I'm going to put my mom's name in.
Oh no!
Oh, she's on the grid. All right.
She doesn't like the box mac and cheese.
She's hiding things.
I think she's definitely hiding things. I think if we've established nothing else, it's that Viv Sullivan is hiding things. All right, so that is the end of that chapter, and we transition over to Lulu. Will now, if you're good with it, it will goes over to you as the next authority.
Cool.
Once again, propose a scene.
Let's see. I think I am going to follow up. Actually, before I do this, oh no, I'm torn. I'm torn between two things.
Well, I mean, it was kind of dinner time, so if you wanted to do a late night.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do an investigation scene. I'm gonna follow up by heading to Northwood. If that's okay with the authority.
Cool. The authority agrees.
Unless you haven't. All right. So Lulu, did you intend for Northwood to be like an area of town, or to be like a place specifically?
Well, I imagine Northwood to be this like really elitist area of town, a bit like the doctor's area. And when you go up there, there's like 4 different buildings, all people are in there, and one of them is a gardening center. Really obviously like escaped, really nicely done building. Another one is like really nice clothing area. Another one just sort of looks like a corporate building, like 4 different buildings, but you could probably tell quite quickly which one is the gardening building.
Right.
There.
Yeah, I think
it's probably, it doesn't look busy. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Danny's no, it's totally okay. I think she parks her car, parallel parks her car and hops out, and sort of straightens herself out before heading to the garden center, which I imagine probably isn't like open. It's probably closed from what I can tell. And I think Danny's just kind of walk around the building, look for maybe a side opening or a side door, or like any kind of activity going on.
Okay. I feel like you'll probably see the opening doors if you wanted to go in, or there'll be like a little gate down the side if you wanted to try and get down there and see if you could find anyone down there.
Yeah, I think Danny's gonna go through. She's gonna kind of check to see if anybody's like around, and then she's gonna go through the side gate.
Awesome. Well, as you head down there, I think you'll come to like a narrow. So it's quite narrow, but still like really well taken care of. Like obviously this is a really nice entrance, and you'll come to meet someone who looks like they're pretty fit, maybe like a personal trainer type person.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like your typical gym junkie, 20-year-old guy chilling out, and he'll be like, "Oh, hey, are you here to work out with us today?"
Danny kind of adjusts herself and says, yeah, this was recommended to me.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, who recommended you? I'll give you a discount.
Woman by the name of Sullivan.
Sullivan? All right, yeah, cool. And he just sort of like writes it down on an iPad. He's like, "We'll come on through. So is it your first time?"
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, no, we'll get you suited up. So just coming through, and he'll lead you into a big like open space, and you can see some people doing fencing. If you've heard of fencing before, and it's like a sword art. For those who don't know, just like very safe sort of thing. Really, you see a lot of people in white suits, and he'll start holding different white clothing up against you, trying to find the right size. He goes, "Oh yeah, no, this looks like it'll fit, right? So have you heard of fencing before? Should I do basic drill with you? I mean, we'll do a warm up first, but you know, skill level is good."
I'm pretty new at it. I can't say I've ever done it before, so yeah, maybe running through some drills. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, Mark, sorry. Yeah, Mark, I'm one of the trainers here. I was on the Olympics. Didn't place really, but you know, it's the getting there that counts, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I've ever been to the Olympics.
I train a lot of the professionals here. Yeah, well, maybe one day if you keep coming here.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Did you say there's professionals here?
Professionals? I mean, yeah, we've people of all types that come here. You know, some of them come for mixed sword arts. really we sort of like specialize in that sort of thing. It's pretty rare in Seattle, really. I have no idea how they got permission for this sort of thing, but hey, people do what people will do.
Interesting. Anybody famous? Anybody I would know?
Anybody famous? Hey, and you'll like lean in. He's like, we did have Ariana Grande come here once as like part of a cardio fitness training thing. You know her? She's pretty cool. Yeah, she were like really. Anyways, doesn't matter. All right, courts are this way. We'll put you on the beginner's court.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Danny's kind of looking around, trying to see if there's anybody she would recognize here. Trying to see when if they take like their masks off or anything like that, if she can spot anybody.
All right, well, if either of you guys want to jump in, if this would be there, or if you think there would be a character who would be there at the time, I'm happy for you to hop in. Because he's probably walking her down a hallway at the moment, so she might be seeing different types.
And while she's looking around, she's gonna kind of lean in closer to the trainer and ask, so this might be kind of silly, but like I know in fencing that you don't really use the ball tip swords or whatever, so they're not like dangerous, but I'm kind of curious if there's anyone who like fights with real swords.
Oh yeah, no, there is, yeah, totally. But I mean, like, if you're a beginner, like, probably not for, like, a year, I'd say. I mean, do you want to watch that sort of thing?
Yeah, I just didn't know if that was, like, allowed, or...
Oh, it's so illegal. But
I'm curious.
Just admitting all of this stuff like he's some sort of open book.
He's a trainer, so like he is. I think because this is like a really elitist area, and she's told him that she's referenced by someone who's on his database. He's like, yeah, whatever. Like she knows, it's fine.
I think that if I might just for the sake of introducing random things that might come in later.
Yeah.
I think that you're gonna see, as you're just sort of going through, and you're looking for people with different, the masks up. You do not see Dr. Alexander, but here right now necessarily. But you do see. I think you're gonna see. There is a web celebrity there, whom you kind of recognize, who is someone who's actually apparently is a it's a programmer who has their own, who has does a certain amount of YouTube stuff. Generally releases a lot of their own stuff. They're very much about they're very big sort of it's one of those weird sort of things where they made their money fairly early, putting out a number of smaller apps and things that just sort of took off, and are now kind of preaching for open technology. So it's one of those what is the word I'm looking for? Hypocrisy. That's kind of the word that I'm looking for. So where it's like they made a crazy amount of money, and now they're talking about making everything being very open, and they've got sort of a new following kind of based on that a lot.
Sort of this open source following.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
This is all for you.
Cool.
whilst I quietly continue to pad my bank account with back sales from the other things. That seems to be going on. But to be fair, she's received criticism for that quite a bit. The name that I just randomly my eyes fell upon is Alicia Servano.
Cool.
And
I was about to clarify by illegal, he means illegal in game. So like, there's nothing against sporting regulation.
I don't think I heard that. I
Couldn't catch it. Oh, sorry. I said he's talking to you about sporting regulations. So yes. So you see the Webster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's amongst the various individuals that you see there. That's one of the ones that just sort of strikes you as like, what the hell is that person doing here? Type deal.
Yeah, I think she makes a mental note of it.
She's local to Seattle, but she's in a lot of, basically in every tech avenue you can think of as far as what you've heard.
Yeah. I think Danny kind of turns back to Mark. So when do these real sword fights happen? Has anything bad ever happened? Like, if I want to do that, would I be okay?
Oh, I mean, like I said, it's like the rules. Like, it's illegal. You can't. You'd need more training before you'd want to get into that sort of thing. Like a year minimum, I'd recommend. We could work on those kinds of skills, because yeah, stuff happens.
Did something happen here?
Yeah, a few things. Yeah, like, because they're pretty into it, so. And yeah, we have some older guys who do it. Probably shouldn't be doing it, but yeah, they like it. What can you do?
Who? What happened?
It's been a couple of years since the last big thing that happened. I don't quite remember his name. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry. So that I don't quite remember his name, but it was a dude. It was a guy.
Mm-hmm.
He'd been training here for a while. He's been training here for like a long time, and I think he's too into it. I think it was his arm, his leg, and yeah, the blade just kind of went into it.
I'm sorry.
Don't
you
worry.
cut out.
That's not gonna happen.
He got hit in the leg.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the leg. I don't quite remember, but like, it's not gonna happen to you. Okay, we're gonna take care of you today.
See, a lot of the folks in the background. This is more flavor than anything else, but I think a lot of the folks in the background are that while they're going at it. In particular, the one that when you noticed Alicia is basically she is proceeding right now to nearly it's a standard fencing thing, so they're using the non-pointy blades, but it's it's like she's almost killing the person in the background. It seems like through it. She's won like at least like 4 or 5 times while you've been talking. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I think as they're walking, Danny goes, okay, yeah. On second thought, maybe I'll take a day to think about this. This seems like a lot going on.
Oh, no, don't be frightened. Come on, I'll tell you what. I'll introduce you to some of the locals, eh? You'll feel better. What have you been recommended here for? Like cardio, strength? What are you, a model, actor?
None. I just, I'm really, really into trying new things.
Oh, you know what? Never. Yeah, let's look. All right, sure. Take your time. I'll guide you out.
Yeah, I think she she squints her eyes a little bit. And then follows him out. I think that's where we end that scene.
Cool.
All right. If we're good with that, then go ahead and again move the pawn and move the suspect, and the witness. There we go. That's what it's called. It's the witness. Move the witness, and we'll one space.
Well, I can't. Can I move it into the suspicion?
You may.
Oh.
Special
I'm doing
rules
it.
happen.
Oh, what are the special rules before I do that?
If the witness ends, it's basically I think you end up filling in two names. If the witness ends its move on a suspicion space, you must write down an additional name anywhere on the grid. And a relationship between this name and the events of the sequence is not necessary.
Okay.
So you're writing down two names if you move into the suspicion space.
Okay. I'm gonna hold off on moving into the suspicion space.
Okay. So go ahead then and just write a name that you would have to reflect your current suspicions.
I think I am gonna do Alicia.
Okay.
Servano, is that S?
I was spelling it with a C, but at the same time, I sort of cobbled it together from two other names, so it's not a big deal.
How do you spell it?
Cervano.
Okay.
All right. And so now, Anino, do you want to go next? Are you okay with that? All right.
To propose a scene,
Or as the authority, next authority.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So Dingo will propose a scene, and then you can either go with that or do another or do a different one.
Okay.
All right. So what you got, Dingo?
I think it's time to talk to Samuel again. I think she's gonna swing by. Danny's gonna swing by his office. It's probably pretty late, but I imagine he's probably still working.
And Anita, do you want to go with that, or do you have another idea?
Sure, we can go with that.
All right. Do you want me to reprise the role?
Yes, if you could.
Right, no problem.
She heads into the building and heads up the elevator to the floor where his startup is.
Okay. What time of day is it at this point?
I would say early evening, maybe 6 or 7.
This is probably around when they've got. I'm thinking if this is all right, I'm thinking this is probably when a lot of folks are coming in and out. So you can probably get up to it. Anino, is he in his office, or is he not come back to his office yet?
He'll probably be in his office at this hour.
All right. So he's you hear you hear something in there.
What do I hear in there?
That's the question, isn't it? You hear is he's on. You hear him talking apparently to nobody. He says, "No, yeah, well, no, we're gonna have to sell that off. I think that's the only way we're gonna be able to handle this. No, it'll be fine." Yeah, sure, we can do that. No, we just got to get ready for this.
Is Constance at her desk?
Let's say that Constance is not at her desk.
Okay. Yeah, then I think Danny's just listening outside the door at the moment, kind of waiting to see where this conversation goes.
Yeah, no, I think this is gonna be really as long as we focus on this one right now, I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Well, I'm sure she's forgotten about that by now. No, go ahead and see if you can book her. Yeah. No, just give it a try. I mean, if not, you can just go down the list and we'll book somebody else. But I think we've almost, you've got everybody in there, yeah? Everybody we needed? Cool. Good. Awesome. I love this. Okay. Great. No, I think this is going to be good. I think we're going to have a really good time with this thing. Yeah, I know, but I want it to be fun for the attendees also, so that they will help sell this thing when it comes out, yeah? That's kind of our business, right? Okay, good, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think at this point she's
love
kind
the
of
kids. All right,
knocking on the door and peeking her head in.
He's got his back to you, and he's just talking. He's got he's got a phone in the earphone thing, and he just sort of turns around and he's like, and he just sort of sees you. He gives you the eyebrow and just sort of gestures for you to come in.
Yeah, she closes the door behind her. And...
All right, take care. Do you get the basket? The gift basket. Okay, I'll give them a call and get them to kick somebody's butt and see if they can figure out what the hell happened to it. It's coming. It's not. I'm not going to tell you what's in it. It's a surprise. That's the whole point. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I think she sits down in the chair opposite his desk, and she's just kind of leaning and waiting. And
hey, how's it going?
Well, it's going. How's everything been on your end? Any contact from the blackmailer?
He's going to a little refrigerator. No, nothing yet. He's taking out. He's taking out. Well, it's a refrigerator, so I'm assuming he has like a. He's picking up. He's picking up a beer. He kind of waves at you, just sort of questioning.
Yeah, she kind of. I'm good.
All right. And he opens it on the. He doesn't breaks the bottle opener. He his little bottle opener next to attached to the little mini fridge, so it just opens on the side. All right, and he sits down. I mean, they're taking their time, whatever it is, which is kind of weird, but this kind of happens. You got anything?
My concern is that they're waiting for something specific. I couldn't help but overhear. Did I hear you doing some party planning?
Yeah. We got tomorrow night. We've got this pre-release thing going on for some of the interested parties. We got a few folks, potential investors, and members. A few select members of the press. We're gonna have a couple bands there too. Actually, I think it's gonna be pretty good. It's sort of a dinner party type thing.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, you want to come?
Yeah, actually, I think if our blackmailer's taking their time, I'm guessing that what better time to strike than the pre-release party for your famous application.
Yeah, that's fair. And he actually he taps his earphone for a second. Hey, yeah, Connie, would you could you do me a favor? Yeah, I know, right? Put Danny Sullivan on the guest list for the pre-release tomorrow. DANI SUL, yeah. LIV, yeah. IVAN?
Yeah.
IVAN, yeah.
Tell her I said thank you.
Yeah, she says thanks. Okay, yeah, I'm always having fun. I don't know. All right, take care. Yeah.
I think Danny puts her head, like shields her eyes for a moment and just like, oh jeez.
He doesn't seem to know what that was about. He shakes his head. Just back down.
Yeah, your assistant, I think, made some conclusions. Anyway.
She does that. You may have noticed.
Yeah, she's very quick to judge. Although I guess to be your assistant, she's got to make snap judgments. I've got a question for you. A couple questions, actually.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I've got about 10 minutes before I gotta head out. So yeah, I'm all yours.
Do you know any? And I realize this might be kind of an uncomfortable question for you, given the fact that you've worked with my mom before. But you know about any kind of bribe or some sort of business that went down between Dr. Alexander and my mom? I know you're a little close to her, so.
Hang on, I'm going to decide randomly. If I receive no other instructions,
I'm going to say that he doesn't know.
I don't think he does either. Like, what, Marcus and your mom?
Yeah.
What did they got something going on?
Nothing like that. I'm just following a potential lead is all.
No, I mean, I don't know. Not that I can think of.
Okay.
No, I mean, I think, no, I'm just trying to remember back because, no, I don't think so.
That's fine.
Probably
That's
not.
fine.
Wait, what? Hang on for just a second, will you? I'll be right back. I just got to put out a fire real quick.
I'll wait here.
He gets up and he walks out of his office for a minute, leaving you alone in there.
Oh, you know I'm zooming around that desk onto that computer.
Are you searching around the desk at all first? It's currently not open, so there's not a and it is password protected.
Okay. She I think she was hoping to catch it before it see if it was still on, but if it's not on, then I think she would immediately move to look through some of the drawers or anything that's on the desk.
He basically he was up and he was up walking around for quite a while, so that's why probably why the screen went blank. And as you're looking through, one thing you do find in there that it looks like he put in a drawer, because you're looking around. The desk is actually kind of clean, but there is a one of the drawers that you open has a framed picture face down.
Yeah, she kind of picks it up and flips it over and peeks.
It's your mom.
Damn it, I knew it!
There's like a mac and cheese label underneath.
Is there anything about the photograph that would stand out to Danny other than it just being her mom?
It's a boudoir picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think she lifts it up and goes and immediately puts it
I don't think she's like, I don't think it's an X-rated picture, but it's
no, it's one of those classy ones.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she's sort of dressed like a how do I put a burlesque dancer, perhaps.
Okay.
Feather boas, very classic lingerie thing. Maybe blowing a kiss.
Yeah, I think she takes like a second look at it, just to kind of make sure, and then she goes, "Okay," and puts it back face down where she found it. I've got so many questions. And I think she's gonna kind of look up to see if she can see him, or kind of tell if
you think you hear him coming back. Actually, he seems to be he's like saying, "Yeah, okay, no, good. Are we done? Well, damn, well, better be ready."
She closes
all we got.
the door. She walks over casually to the fridge, and she's gonna open up the fridge.
Okay, good. Listen, I want. I'm telling you, we need this to work for us, right? If it doesn't, then I love you, man, but I'm gonna have to let you go. All right, you're gonna get it? Okay, good. Jesus. And he comes back into the office. I gotta tell you, Danny, I have no idea if people, why people seem to just not be able to find their asses with both hands these days. I got no clue. Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, it's fine. She pulls out a beer and closes the fridge and cracks it open. Changed my mind. Got thirsty while I was waiting.
No problem.
What fire are you putting out this time?
Just as people are getting nerves, I think they're trying to. They want to go back for another. They want to go back for another round of testing, and we've done it. We've like tested the damn thing to death already. We got to get this thing out.
Yeah, she sits back down. She goes, yeah, strike while the iron's hot and all that.
Yeah, especially now, dear God. He starts. He's actually now starting to assemble his things, because he's probably at this point he's getting ready to step out.
One last thing,
Sure.
Mr. Logan. You ever do business with someone named Alicia Servano? You recognize her?
So his back is turned to you when you say that, and I think basically like he. I think he is. Sorry, I was reading a thing real quick. He like is putting a he's like putting his phone away and he drops it, and he leans down and he picks it up, and he's like, and he turns around and he says, yeah, I met her a couple times. She's in, everywhere in the tech business in this city.
Sure. You know about her sort of call for open source everything.
And he said, he shrugs. He says, yeah. I mean, it's a noble sentiment. I don't see it helping her bottom line at all. But whatever makes her happy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, some people get riled up about a cause.
Oh man. I'm sorry. There are these times. Your mom used to say the same thing. There's times you remind me so much of her. It's crazy.
I think Danny kind of like collapses in on herself a little bit. It's like, oh, okay. She goes, yeah. I like to joke that, apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Yeah. Serrano. I think she might be coming to the pre-release thing.
Oh, okay. I lied. I actually do have one more question.
Oh yeah, that's another thing your mother is. I've heard from your mother before. Yeah.
I know. Always us with our questions.
Closing his case. Well, it's your job. Can't fault you for it.
You ever go to the Roses?
What are we talking about here?
It's the gardening club.
That's got nothing to do with what's going on right now, okay?
That's the second time you've said that.
Yeah.
About something that I've asked.
It's because I am trying to keep you from running into problems.
Problems are kind of my job.
Yeah, not like this. Look, you don't need to be going around there. That is not a place for you, okay?
Why not? What goes on there that a grown-ass woman shouldn't be involved with?
Look, sometimes people do things, they get a little crazy. Sometimes they decide they feel like they've got crap to prove, and they go and they do a thing, and then they realize later it's not the best thing for them. And that kind of crazy is just probably not something you want to hang out around, okay? It's just...
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble believing that fencing is incredibly dangerous and full of terrible people.
He gives you sort of a half smile. He says, yeah, it's kind of, kind of funny how that happens. No, yeah, it's, like I said, it's not a thing you want to worry about, believe me. I mean, I don't think really, I used to fence for a while, okay? And sometimes people get really into it. And if you do something for a little too long, you kind of sort of lose sight of reality.
Is that how you got that, and she kind of points to his chest?
Kind of, yeah. But listen, it's not... it's infectious sometimes being around folks like that. So just listen. It's not the kind of thing that it's really not the kind of thing that anyone needs to worry about. Not for this. It's you just gotta leave those people alone. Seriously, whatever this is, we don't want that getting involved too. That's all I'm saying. Okay, look, I gotta get downstairs.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
Okay. If I don't see you before, I'll see you tomorrow night, okay?
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. Okay, good luck. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. Anything reasonable. He turns and he walks out.
Yeah. I think we can end it there.
You go to that? I think this would be... Well, actually, if you want to go ahead and move... Anino, are we good? Is there anything else you wanted to toss in here before we end the chapter?
No, I think that was well done.
Okay. Go ahead and move the pawn. Remember, illegal moves are not into a space with a name. All right. And go ahead and put a name in there.
I put the victim's name in there.
You can, yes. You totally can.
That's what I'm gonna do.
All right. Well, I think if we're good with it, we're going to go ahead and go to break. And so we will return shortly. For like 5-10 minutes. We'll see you soon.
Hey, false anything is good, right?
Yeah, no, it's good. We're back. Hello.
Hello.
We were just opining over the virtues of falsehood, as this has no caffeine in it, but I'm pretending it does because it gets me through the day. We have returned. So yeah, we are at a new chapter, and so Dingo, you may propose a sentence.
I have so many good options. I almost want to do another revelation.
Well, the only thing that I can think of involves like jumping ahead to tomorrow night. So, and I don't think narratively. I think there's room for more in between. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, turning back to the revelation page, you get to choose either. I think it's either a nature of relationship or. Well, wait a minute. Let me choose. Either choose one of the characters in the relationship or define the nature of the relationship. One of those two things.
I think I'm gonna choose Dr. Mark Alexander.
Okay. So Alexander's in it, and I must decide either a character who's not involved, or I'm going to say that Viv is not involved because that was the relationship we found last time. So I think it needs to be with someone else. So that's what that's the result I'm going to pull out of there. And so now, yes, we need you to, let me count here real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still 4. So roll a d4. And we will decide which one of these individuals we are forging this connection with.
Wouldn't it be? Hold on.
So
1.
Logan,
No, you're right. You're right. It's 4.
Poppy, Constance, Alicia.
All right. So that would be Poppy?
Interesting. Okay, so Dr. Alexander apparently has some kind of relationship with Poppy. And now you get to roll a d6, and we get to see what type of relationship Dr. Alexander has.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, here we go.
Right? All right.
6.
Another business.
Huh.
All right.
So, now you must define what that is.
Wow. Okay.
So I think I may need your guys' a little bit of your guys' help with this one. But I think just to set it up, I think Danny's in her car when we see her next. Probably outside of this, probably just after her meeting with Logan, and she's opening up her laptop, and she's connecting to the bug to see if the bug has picked up any kind of conversation. I think it's been kind of like recording, so I think she's like going through the recording and listening to like a lot of pocket rustling. She's like skipping and skipping and skipping. But I'm trying to figure out what I think she picks up, like as she's going through, she immediately picks up on Poppy's voice.
It is pretty unique.
It's so distinct to her.
Okay.
It's really just like an, oh my gosh. You like Does that little snippet?
Mhm. Anino, did you have something?
So I think that since it's a business relationship, I think it has to do something with the flow of information from one person to another. So either he's selling her some hot information, or he's buying some information from her and asking or having her snoop around and gather information for her.
I wouldn't be against that.
I don't know. Which one do you think it would go?
Well, I think she's probably smarter than she lets on, so I wouldn't be surprised if she is trying to work with him maybe on something they've heard about another hospital, or she's like trying to play him off against one of his competitors, or...
So,
What if...
sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
so what if Poppy was investigating the roses? Trying to turn it into a big expose about like a super elitist fight club.
Ooh.
Well, I think maybe she'd probably come at it from like a health angle. She's like, it's so trendy. And maybe she like found your name and was like, oh my gosh, like a heart surgeon goes here. And then unfortunately she realizes that like that's actually not what's going on, and maybe she's found the back end of the roses. And she's trying to pressure him to get a better story.
Okay, so Alexander knows about the roses. He's definitely involved in the roses, and he's maybe been eating her little tidbits in here and there, but he hasn't really figured out what she could offer him in exchange for that breakout, that groundbreaking story and such. But
Yeah, maybe she has something, or when I say has something, I mean has some piece of information that might be fairly damning, not necessarily for Dr. Alexander personally, but something that would be helpful if he can help steer a bit, maybe. That might be helpful to him.
So I have an idea. I think so I think maybe Dr. Alexander was a member for a while of the Roses. Obviously, that's why he's feeding her this information. But I think during these fights, a murder happened, and he knows about it. And so he's trying to guide her into uncovering this murder cover-up that happened at the Roses.
so actually, maybe, and I think this is in character for him, just to play off of that. So he's still a member of the Roses, but he doesn't really like any of the other members. So he's sort of playing Poppy a bit in order to bring about the fall of the Roses Club and ruin basically everybody involved with it.
Yeah.
While trying to keep himself clear from that.
Yeah. Do we want to declare this as one of the as like the murder that we've got there on our list of crimes, or is this just something that happened in the past?
My thought was to declare it as the murder.
You totally do that.
I'm happy to follow the investigator.
We all on board?
Yeah.
Her case.
All right. I think we're gonna need to generate another victim then, because everyone has been walking up and walking around, and this happened a while ago.
We need a body.
We need a body. We need a body stat. So, if you want to, I'm gonna go to my trusty chart, and see if I can Make a thing. Do we want to? Okay, I have means of doing it randomly if you wish, or if someone has an idea, then feel free. If you want to do the random, then we just need to roll a few dice.
Would it be someone that you guys would both know? Like Alexander and Logan, would you both know him?
If they were in the
I think
roses, then...
Yeah, so I think this person has to be someone who is well known in the elite circles, but not exactly known in the, in the bright, shiny eye of the public, because then people would know that he's missing. So he's got to be sort of like this mover and shaker behind the scenes.
Okay. So could this be someone in... I've got a list of different areas. Like I said, we can roll if you wish, but if you want, I can read these off if this will help. We have government, which is like law enforcement, political or civil service. We have media, art, journalism, business, criminal, socialite, blue collar, scientist, or academic. And if any of those categories sound good, we could seize one or we can roll.
I think socialite is probably the way to go here.
So like someone who's like a sort of more dilettante type.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
like he's wealthy but no real like set job.
Okay.
Right. So all of his wealth was inherited wealth, and maybe he's an angel investor who sort of, throws money at ideas that seem interesting to him, and he sort of sees what sticks.
Cool.
And maybe he was the one. Maybe he put up the code, and he was murdered essentially.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how he got the code. But yeah. And so people in the roses are going to be pissed at Samuel because he broke one of the rules of the club, which was,
Don't actually kill him.
You're not supposed to cause a fatal wound, I guess.
If fights are like to first blood, then
Yeah.
Although I don't know that we can declare Samuel as the murderer yet, right?
Well, I mean, it might not have been Samuel,
we don't know
but
who the
maybe
murderer
people
is.
just
Right.
think that he was involved somehow in inciting this
Yeah.
fight that went too far, and then they turned up and there was the body, and they were like, "Oh, damn."
Yeah, it could be that he died at some point following the duel, but maybe not immediately after. It's just that.
Well, maybe they decided to take the jewel outside of the club for some reason.
Maybe that's a possibility. That's interesting. Oh man, there's so many possibilities here.
This feels like reverse CSI.
It does, doesn't it? Which is that's the game.
Okay.
So yeah, we gotta. I guess we gotta name this person. Let's see. What sort of individual do we want here? I've got a bunch of names from different areas, and so I can just do standard names, or I can do English, German, French, Arabic, African.
Go with
Italian.
Wendell.
Wendell.
That's his first name, because I feel like that's a name that only someone who was obscenely wealthy would give their child.
Awesome.
I thought it was usually like first name, middle name, and then the first name again.
That's a possibility. Let's see. So let me look at the. Yeah. Let me go to somewhere. Wendell. Do we want to go Wendell Hagen? It's Dutch.
Sounds good.
All right.
He sounds like a guy who would die in a fencing duel.
Yeah, exactly. Wendell Hagen. Rich. Hang on. Socialite pincushion.
Pincushion. I see what you did there.
We actually reduced the size because apparently it's... Yeah. There we go. Cool.
Ooh.
All right, so that's going to be the murder. We don't know if you've actually found out about it yet. But actually, yeah, that's what we're in the middle of determining right now during this revelation scene, during which technically, Dingo, you still have jurisdiction right now. So how much do you find out about this as this is going on?
So I think she's kind of going through the audio, and I think some of it is kind of muffled. But I think she does pick up on the fact that they're talking about the roses. I don't think she picks up on the murder, but she definitely does pick up on the name Wendell Hagen. I think she hears Dr. Alexander telling Poppy to look into the name Wendell Hagen.
Excellent.
And I don't think he's not spilling everything, so it's a pretty cryptic conversation. But that's what she kind of picks up on. And then after that, it's more muffled, and she sort of finishes scrolling through the audio, and then closes it and sets her laptop, puts it underneath the seat of her car, and I think we see her turn the keys in the ignition and drive off.
All right. So that's that sequence. That does not end the chapter, since that was a revelation. So you get to propose another sequence.
Oh, I'm going back to the roses. There's juicy stuff there.
Yeah, okay, let's see where that goes.
Unless you had another scene in mind.
Well, no, like I said, all I've got, all I've got is jumping ahead in time. So as long as this takes place between like that evening and the next evening, then that works for me.
Yeah, I think she goes late at night, probably around like between 11 and midnight.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna guess that's when most of this underground Fight Club stuff goes on.
Quite.
I imagine there's not many spin classes at midnight, so
No. Midnight spin classes. Someone does.
Oh, you never know.
Yeah, the city's big enough.
In Seattle, actually, probably there's some like midnight spin class.
But we'll say that that's not happening here.
Yeah. It's not happening at the garden center.
Yes.
It's a spin and kombucha club.
they brew kombucha in the garden and then they spin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they try to kill each other. Deadly spin classes. No.
And if you survive, it's made you healthier.
So you arrive pretty late at night. It appears to all appearances. I forget how it appears to all appearances. It looks to all appearances as though it seems to be shut. I forget what the description was for the outside of this place, but outside it looks like a gardening club. Yes, is that what we're talking about? Yeah. So it's
probably like a nursery or something.
Yeah. So I presume this is a building with multiple levels. But or at least one level above ground. But you don't see any lights when you pull up.
Okay. Yeah, I think she parallel parks, turns off her car, gets out, and she heads over to the building. She's sort of sticking to the shadows, being very quiet, listening for any like sound. And I think she's kind of going the side way through the gate again and trying to find a way in.
Oh man. All right. I'm having thoughts.
Okay.
But before they happen, so you're gonna go around. You're looking around back, and there is.
So, can I propose something here? So, what if Poppy is at the Roses and is trying to get in and is more successful at doing it?
So
because you would have to imagine that there has to be some kind of guard or bouncer to this place, right?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's coming.
Yeah.
So you jump the fence in the back, and you haven't been seen yet, as far as you're aware. And you see that there are, and correct me if there are any. And not being as familiar with Seattle, I don't know how. Can you have basements in Seattle? Is that okay and safe?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked this because that is not true of all cities. So, looking around, you see that there is a little light pouring from a very small window. It's of the kind that's usually it's from a basement level, right?
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to make out what's happening, but from what you can see, there are several figures wearing masks down there. You think they're wearing these sort of black garments and masks, and
Wearing like the fencing masks or like.
no, these actually are more like Harlequin masks.
Ooh, very fancy.
And
Okay.
you see them, and they have blades. You see them doing something, sort of bowing, and you see them lead in someone who appears to be covered. They take the cover off of their head, and you can see that it's Poppy.
No, Poppy!
They hand her a blade and point her, and she and they move off into another room you cannot see.
I don't like it. Okay. Do I see a door anywhere, or
There-
do I?
Is a metal door back here for something on the. There's a metal back door to one of these. I'm imagining, is this when we described this before? Did we describe it as there being more than one store or place of business in this building? Okay, so yeah, you've got a few different stores up on There's a. So yeah, you can see a couple of metal doors to like a couple of other shops that are closed right now.
But nothing that would lead me into.
Maybe. It depends on if they're connected or not. There's for the garden club itself, you do see there's a few steps that go up to a metal door, a bound metal door, to the back of the garden club.
Okay, yeah. I think Poppy's she's gonna try that door. I assume it's probably locked. Or sorry, Danny.
Remember who you are. So yes, it is locked.
Listen. Is it one of those things where like the door's locked, where there's like a physical like lock and chain on it?
I don't think there's a lock and chain. I think it's just the door itself is locked.
Okay. I think something that Danny has picked up from her mom is maybe a sketchier way of doing some investigating. And I think I think her mom taught her how to pick a lock if she needs to. And she's gonna pick the lock open and sort of slip inside, and sort of make her way down to a basement level.
All right, I will not. Yes, because I have another thing in the back of my head. I'm not going to challenge you on that. So yeah, you open the lock. It takes a minute, but you're able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Door swings open into the back area of the garden store, and you look around till you find sort of behind a beaded curtain there are steps going down. This is you sort of find the gym area first. That took you a moment to find. And then you take the steps going down. And this is now where, as you kind of get down there, you hear blades clashing.
Cool. Love that. But there's no like doorman or anything.
Well, you have not seen one yet.
Good to know.
Everything is lit with candles down here. It's actually, that's why you couldn't see terribly well You couldn't make out any details except Poppy's face, really, aside from also the ones and the masks.
Okay.
And the blankets.
Danny's gonna walk very quietly and try to see if she can, like, I assume she's like in a hallway, and she's gonna head sort of in the direction of the blades. She's gonna try to see if she can peek.
Okay. As you're heading down the hallway, a masked figure turns into it, and I would like to initiate a conflict.
Crap! Crap!
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Okay.
First step, establish goals. Whoever wins this is going to win the narration for the rest of this scene. What are your goals?
My goal is to convince them that I belong here, and rescue Poppy.
Okay. My goal here is your capture.
Yay!
With potential for violence. We each have right now. I'm going to draw 5 dice. You may also draw up to 5 dice if you wish. This is the only time at which you have to announce that.
Okay, wait. I'm drawing 5 dice.
Yeah.
Hang on. Can we pause for a second? Can we get some more dramatic music for this conflict?
Oh man. If I had loaded it ahead of time, I totally would. It's going to take me a second. But if you want to go real quick on to, if you feel like vetting some, they're all off of incompetech.com. But yeah, I did not plan for a sword fight. That's an excellent point.
Who doesn't plan for a sword fight? I'm disappointed.
I know. Let me see if I can find a suspense thing real quick. If I just do this. Oh, I can drop files in now. That's
in the meantime,
awesome.
chat, just think of the scariest music you can and allow it to play it in your own head.
Yeah, I mean that's basically that's basically how it goes, right? It's not coming up with anything on suspense.
Thriller?
Yeah, hang on. No.
I just love to imagine, like, before a fight, like, hang on, guys, let's get our soundtrack right.
Anxiety. That sounds good.
Ooh, very nice. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here, I'm gonna add that, and we'll just go with that for now. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Now, so let's see, where were we? Ah, yes. Okay, so we've got to set our goals. I drew 5 dice. You get to also draw 5 dice, or I can deal them to you.
I already do.
Oh, you got them? Okay, good. All right, and are you aiming for violence? Yes or no?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. So we go to the next step. I also am. Roll the public I'm going to roll the public violence die. And that's a 3. And all those who said yes. Okay, so now choose a 3 from the violence deck and drag it up there. I will do the same.
Wait a minute. What?
Okay, go down to the violence deck and select choose.
Oh, and then grab a 3.
Grab a 3. And then flip it over. And here we go. So if we run into 3s, we know that's what we're aiming for. If we want violence. And the investigator makes the first bid. So this is you're betting on how many you can roll either before or after the bid. You're betting on how many of a certain die number you're going to have, and
How many there is total between us?
Total between us, and ones are wild.
Okay. Let me. I'm gonna say there is at least. Wait. Oh, wait. Is the number on the board the number of die?
Yeah,
If I remember correctly. Okay.
that's right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say 3 4s.
Okay. And are you re-rolling any dice, or do you want to replace any of your dice? I should say.
Yes, I'm gonna re-roll.
Okay, so you need to reveal at least one of your dice, so you won't be able to re-roll that one.
Okay.
By dragging it into the investigator square.
Is there a tactic to revealing dice, or?
There's kind of a there can be, yeah, totally. So like, I mean, if it was me and I had at least 1 4, I'd reveal that probably.
Okay. That was my thought, but I didn't want to screw
Yeah, I'd
myself.
probably reveal either a 4 or a 1 right now, depending on how much you want to psych me out. So there you go. So now you get to drag out the ones you want to replace just somewhere into the Roll20, away from all the other stuff that we've got up there.
Okay. Should I delete them or just?
You can if you want after they get out there on the board. It doesn't matter since we have an infinite number of decks here to choose from. Or you can just leave them on there. I'm going to recall them at the end of this anyway.
Okay. I'm gonna re-roll 2.
Okay, and so you draw two dice from the gray deck. And it's to me. And I get to decide if I want to up the bid, or if I want to call your bid. And I'm going to up it. I'm going to roll first before I make my bid, but I have to make a bid because I'm rolling. And I'm going to reveal that I have a 3. And I'm going to roll the other cards, roll the other dice. All right, and I'm going to bet that there are 4 3s. And that's my bet.
Are you including the violence die?
No, the violence dice aren't part of the bid.
Okay.
But you may note I'm trying to match them to the violence die.
So I can either raise or call, right?
That's right.
I'm gonna call.
Okay. So when you call, so when you call a bid, you may not roll your dice. Both players reveal all of their dice by dragging them onto the respective squares. So let's do that. So go ahead and drag all of your dice into your square and flip them over. Okay.
Damn it.
Well, actually, because I
Oh
did
no,
last,
yeah, that's only
yeah, you won because
that's only 2.
Yeah, there are only 2 3s. So I overbid, so I lose 2 dice out of my pool, so I'll only have 3 going forward until something happens to refresh them.
Okay.
And you get to narrate the end of this scene. One other thing though, just so you're aware, we have 3 violence dice matching the matching this. So you must declare that someone in this scene dies as part of your narration.
Does it have to be a character that we've already established, or
I'm gonna say no. It can be anyone in the scene.
Okay.
It can end any way you want, so long as somebody dies. Because we got 3 threes, and that matches the bid.
Am I ending the entire scene or just the conflict?
You're ending the whole scene. Well, both. It's you get narration to the end of the scene.
Okay. So I think this masked person rounds the corner, and they're obviously armed, and they immediately pull out their sword, and oh, I'm gonna do something stupid. I think Danny sort of puts her hands up and she goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down there, buddy. I'm just I didn't see anybody at the door, so I just came in. I'm a friend of Hagen's. And they sort of stop and they nod, and they sort of gesture, and I think I think as she's following them, they're sort of walking kind of the same path that she saw, or the same direction that she saw Poppy go in, and then Danny also gets the hood over the face, and as she's being led around, finally she hears a door close, and and when she takes off, she doesn't hear anything at all. She takes off the hood. She's locked in a room, and she looks around, and it's very dim, and so she doesn't notice at first. But then when she turns to the right, she sees someone slumped over in a chair, and it's Poppy. As she runs over, Danny runs over, and she sort of shakes her, and takes the mask off. Or no, sorry, she doesn't have the mask on. She sort of shakes her, and she looks up, and she has this like 1,000-mile stare, and Danny turns and follows her gaze and finds one of the masked folks lying on the floor, with a sword in their gut.
Oh, she made it into the club. Excellent.
Danny sort of, she goes, it's okay, Poppy, it's gonna be okay. And she sort of scoops her up, and carries her towards like a little basement window, and she sort of she pushes it open. There was probably enough room to squeeze, and I think she helps Poppy climb out, and then climbs out after her. And that's where the scene ends.
Excellent. Well done. Okay. So that being the end of the scene, go ahead and move the pawn.
Poppy, how could you?
Wow.
Poppy!
Wow. Poor happy Poppy.
You can only move it to one of 2 squares right now.
I know, and I don't like it. Okay. So I'm going to move it into this suspicion square.
Okay. So the way that works, he says, I was just cleaning everything up there. Suspicion. So, if the witness ends its move on a suspicion space, you must write down an additional name anywhere on the grid. A relationship between this name and the events in the sequence is not necessary. So yeah, you, now this is interesting because your next... So write down a name in the suspicion space.
Okay. The only two people I can think of that would relate to the two scenes we just did is either Poppy or Dr. Alexander. So I'm going to put Dr. Alexander.
Okay. And now you just put another name somewhere else on the grid, anywhere you like.
But I think I am going to put Poppy's name in too.
Okay. She was a tad suspicious just now.
Just tad.
She
You know,
possibly
She did just kill a
somebody.
man.
She might have killed a man.
Yeah. Might have been a woman, you know, equality.
Yeah.
That's entirely fair.
Just killed a person. Let's see. Put her here.
Actually, you do have one legal move. I think.
Yeah, I've got one legal move still. I left that open for myself.
Okay. Excellent. And now.
Oh wait, no. The second name doesn't have to relate, right?
No, yeah, it doesn't at all.
Okay, then I'm putting Constance down again.
Okay, cool.
Oh! I just came up with an idea.
Excellent.
Excellent.
We're getting close to the end of this evening. So I think we can fit one more sequence in, probably. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and move the gavel over, and to since Lulu's next authority, and
You was already.
and Dingo can go ahead and.
Okay, so I'm not gonna jump ahead to the party yet. I think where we pick up, I'm gonna do another investigation scene, and I'm gonna say that Danny took Poppy back to her office. Unless authority, you have a different scene in mind.
No, I think Poppy would not be wanting to leave someone familiar that she's found at all, so I think that makes sense. I mean, they're friends, right?
Yeah.
They like go to brunch together and things, so I think that makes sense that she'd want to stay with you.
Yeah, so I think when we pick back up, Danny and Poppy are already in her office, and I think Poppy's sitting on the couch in there, and Danny's bringing her like a blanket, and probably she's just turning around from. She probably has an electric kettle in there that she's made a cup of tea for Poppy, and she sort of turns and rushes over to her and puts the blanket over her lap and hands her the cup of tea. And I think we see what did we name the cat?
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Aww.
Yeah, I think Cauliflower is sort of brushing past Poppy's legs, and Danny sits down.
And is Danny injured, or are you okay? Were you injured from the fight, or are you all fine?
No, I think Danny's.
I don't believe there was a conflict that involved her physically.
Yeah, it wasn't like a physical conflict. It resolved pretty quickly.
Yeah. The violence wasn't.
Oh yeah,
applied, so-
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that. My fault.
So Poppy, Danny sits down next to Poppy after handing her the tea, and sort of waves her hand in front of her face. Hey, you want to tell me what was? You okay?
I'm okay. I think. Why were you there? I mean, I'm really grateful you were. But are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm totally okay. I was following up on a lead I had. What were you doing there? What happened?
I was trying to be a good journalist. And Danny, I don't think I am.
What are you talking about? You're a great
I think I'm a really bad person.
Okay.
I don't think I'm okay.
Poppy. You're not what on earth would make you a bad person?
I don't know. I don't remember anything. I remember I went in there and the hood was over my head, and then pretty much from there on out I can't remember a single thing that I did. But then you were there and we looked at the wall and there was that man, and I think it was a man. I don't really remember what they looked like, but I just know that they had a sword through them, and I don't think they were moving. Did you do that?
No, that wasn't me. Did they give you anything? Did you I mean, this is gonna sound silly, but did you drink any Kool-Aid?
I mean, I don't think they're called.
You saw the masks. Does that not
I did.
seem cult to you in some way?
I mean, that's not what I was investigating. Why would they be something that I wasn't investigating? I went there to find out about this, like, health club that's really elite. There's a lot of money in it. And I thought I was going to make a really good article, and then I met this person. No, I didn't meet anyone. No, this is all on record. I can't tell you anything. Oh, Danny. Poppy. I don't think I'm a good journalist.
Poppy, you're a great journalist. You always have been. And you were doing what every great journalist does. You were investigating. You were trying to find the truth. What? And this, Poppy, you and I are friends. Friends first. This is all off the record. Are you gonna be okay? Is there someone? What were you looking into?
All off the record. Has to be off the record, Danny.
I work almost entirely off the record. You can trust me.
Okay. I mean, you're gonna think I'm so stupid. I don't really know what I was investigating, but I've been talking to someone, and what they were telling me sounded like there was going to be this really incredible article, and people were going to think of me as a serious journalist, and I was going to get a serious journalist job, and people would stop thinking of me like I was so stupid. And he's telling us information, and so I thought if I could break in and actually see it for myself and get in a meeting. And it turns out that breaking into places is really hard. It's not like in college where we just used to jump in the back window. And I should have thought about cameras and guards. I know you would have. And I didn't. And I got caught. And I think they would have hurt me.
Poppy, I've never thought of you as stupid. But that was really dangerous.
I know.
What did they tell you that got you so keen on breaking in to a garden?
They told me if I found out this story, and if I published this story, I'd never have to look for a job again. That I would have media companies calling me, that I'd be on TV.
What story is so good that it would do all that for you?
A criminal one. People love when someone gets hurt. They love to read the tragedy, the pain, the fear. And I was supposed to find that all out, and I didn't.
Someone got hurt?
Apparently. Real bad.
Well, first of all, we need to figure out what happened between you going in and me finding you. And what if we work together on this? I do the investigating, you do the reporting.
Yeah? You'd stay with me the whole time?
Of course. I'm kind of worried about.
Danny.
Yeah, she hugs Poppy and sort of leans back. We can work on this together.
Yeah, like a team.
Exactly.
I
Maybe
think
with the two of us, we'll figure out what's actually going on here.
that'd be so good. I could use a well-paid journalism job.
Yeah, I think it's time you get out of the...
BuzzFeed. I work for BuzzFeed.
BuzzFeed, that's right. I think it's time you get out of there.
Yeah. Last week I made an article on socks.
Thrilling. So if we're going to work together on this, I need to know what they told you exactly. I got to know what to follow up on.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the kind of information I keep in my pink binder. They wouldn't let me write anything down. I had to remember it all. It was so hard. But, I mean, tonight when I was wandering around, I had my iPhone on me. We could see if my phone tracked where I was going. I know you can do that, can't you?
Yeah, but we already know where you were.
But maybe we could find out the hallways. Go in during the day.
That sounds dangerous and crazy, and that might actually work.
I had a good idea.
Do you know what crime was committed, though? You said it was criminal and tragic.
Would she have been told what actually happened, or just like...
That's a good question. Well, largely up to you, but if you're asking for an opinion,
Okay.
It's what as far as someone dying. Is that what are you asking?
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, definitely someone is dead.
Right. But not necessarily murdered, just dead.
Well, wasn't there a blade sticking through them? Was that the thing we were talking about, or are we talking about the other murder?
We're talking
about the one that she woke up and she was like, "What?"
No. See, I was talking about the one that Danny heard over the bug.
Oh,
She's trying to get Poppy to talk about Hagen.
Okay. So, what about the guy was it a person in the room? I wasn't really clear on what happened, but the way it sort of narrated, it sounded like Poppy murdered or got
possibly.
Oh yeah. I think she did.
I left that purposefully open end.
We don't know if Poppy killed them or not, but the person that was in the room that Danny got Poppy out of was also dead. That is not probably Hagen. Hagen was a while ago, but
Yeah, no, that's definitely not Hagen.
I was just wondering what she would have known about Hagen if Alexander would have been particularly tight-lipped or sort of like.
If she'd found anything.
That's why I asked for an opinion, because it's not my.
Yeah. It's a good question.
So the story is, or Alexander's going to tell her. The story is, and this is the story that the club concocted, is that Hagen is on an extended vacation on a sailing expedition around the world. But, that's just for cover. They're going to probably fake his death later on, just to, hide the crime. And, so that's where I was thinking that was going to go.
Okay.
So,
all right.
And Hagen, if we are going down the path that we were thinking of, this would have been like around the same time that Sam got his scars, yes or no?
Oh, I thought it
I
would
think
be
that makes sense.
after that.
We haven't really established it, so that's fine. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can totally be whenever we need to put it. But I just was trying to think in my head if we'd established it yet. Okay, if we haven't, then
Yeah, I don't think we've established that. I think we've just established that sometime within recent history something's gone down.
Yeah, it certainly has. All right, very good.
So I think
But at the very least, we've established right now, and you can decide how much else she knows. But at the very least, she knows Wendell Hagen's name, because that's what Danny heard over the.
Yeah. So I think she will. She'll say like, "Look, I don't know everything. Like the guy that I was talking to, he's pretty secretive and he's really smart, and sometimes he uses words that I just don't understand, even when I look them up in a dictionary. But I know someone's dead, and Wendell Hagens is his name. I googled him. He has a pretty cool Facebook page, but he doesn't really share that much on social media. He seems kind of wealthy, and he's on an extended leave on a boat, and I know the group really, really has it in for him. Like Danny, I think they want to kill him.
I mean, somebody wouldn't be bringing this to your attention if he was actually on an extended boat leave.
No? Oh. I mean, okay.
I like how that.
I love Poppy.
One thing I wanted to propose as an addition to the scene, speaking as the advisor, I wanted to know if Danny's phone could be blowing up with text messages from Samuel Logan.
Oh, I mean, if you say it happened. So.
Sure.
And
I'm interested to see that.
Yeah. And okay. Yeah,
I think Danny, hearing the phone just constantly buzz, she'll go, just 1 second, drink your tea.
Poppy starts talking to Cauliflower. It wasn't moving, Cauliflower.
Danny's gonna rush over and grab her phone off the desk and look at the texts.
Okay, so I think the text should just say, like, call me now, and then there's maybe a couple of expletives and WTFs in there. Like, why aren't you there? What the hell was going on? Things like that. So, yeah.
And like one from her mom, like, are you coming for dinner?
One from her mom.
Yeah.
Saying, mac and cheese tonight?
So I'm tempted to end the scene here, since we are at 9:00, and then leave it on that cliffhanger. Or do we want?
I had another cliffhanger, but if you want to end the scene here,
maybe,
because I feel like the call to Samuel or confrontation with Samuel is another scene entirely.
Yeah, maybe
I feel like it would be another scene because it's like
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
more information.
I think maybe just the one text. There's one last text that you see at the very bottom. It's like you have to go to the next page or whatever. Just scroll all the way down.
Yeah.
It's like the last text from Sam, and it says, "They called."
They called. Okay.
And
see, that was yeah. Okay.
that was like, but when you looked at that was like the first text. It was like an hour ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Well, that's a good one.
yeah, I think we just kind of zoom in on Danny as she like panics and takes a deep breath and goes to hit the call button on her phone.
Awesome.
I think that's where the scene ends.
And there we have it. All
That
right.
was really great.
That was so good.
Yay! And sadly, that's all the time we have for tonight. But, well, one more thing you do have to do, and that is move the pawn.
Well, I'm gonna move it here.
Write in a name.
I think Poppy's name's got to go there, right?
Yeah. I don't think I can avoid it anymore. I think Poppy has to go there.
Poor Poppy.
All right. And when we come back next week, Anino, if you're good with it, will be the authority for the first scene. We're going around, and there we are. Excellent. We have things happening. Very good. This was delightful. Stuff is happening. I'm enjoying this quite a lot. So this time I'm going to go in the opposite direction again from before, and ask folks to say what you thought of this session, and if you have a favorite moment or other final thoughts, and where people can find you online. Again, if you have anything coming up we should know about. And we shall start with our investigator, Dingo.
Hi. I'm Dingo. You can find me on Twitter at Where's My Dingus. For the rest of this week, I'm doing tomorrow I will be back on my home channel, Off the Table, playing Adventures in the Wild Blue, which is a Lady Blackbird campaign. Monday, I will be also back on Off the Table for our first official session of Alas for the Awful Sea. Tuesday, I will be on Katie Face's channel playing Masks. That's going to be our finale episode, and it's I did some bad heart hurts in that one.
Yes, it hurts so much watching that. It hurts so badly.
It was bad. I immediately regretted everything I did. That's the classic Dingo move. Just do something and then immediately regret it.
Oh, yeah.
And then Wednesday, I will be on Pro Restarter's channel playing, or rather, running Ryutama, Into the Shroud of Thunder, and then I will be back here next Thursday for more secrets. And a favorite moment I had. I mean, I don't know that I can decide because it was just. I feel like we were really on our ball today. Like, it was really good. I loved Viv. She was great. I loved her, just all of her confidence in Danny. So good. I loved Poppy. Being taken into the cult. I thought that was a really good twist. Caught me by surprise, and I'm loving this cliffhanger of Samuel blowing up my phone, and now I'm scared and nervous.
Excellent. Cool, awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was delightful. And we will move on to Anino.
Hey, so I can be found on Twitter and Instagram at AninoXGaming. The next time I will be on stream will be on the Extra Life for Kids channel at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. I'll be playing My Time at Portia, because apparently the game that I played on my debut was not content appropriate for the channel. So much winning. Pro streamer right here, folks. Sunday, and then back here next Thursday for episode 3.
And any thoughts about the session?
Yeah, the boudoir picture reveal. I thought that was so good. Well, what I like was when Dingus was sort of like, "Oh, is it just a nice casual picture of my mom?" Like, no, it's a boudoir picture. I'm not gonna lie.
I just wanted so badly for Danny to find a picture of her mother on the desk.
Yeah. And then we just took it a step further. But then I escalated it, and that's the reason why I sent a message to Jim, was because I said that he's going to mention something about how she's so much like her mom.
Let's make this even more uncomfortable.
That was all I could think of that whole time. Was like, oh.
Yeah, I just wanted to kick that over, but I didn't want to tip my hand in that, so I just thought we'd throw that out there.
Oh, that was great.
That was awesome.
Excellent. And finally, Lulu.
Hello everyone, my name is Lulu. You can find me on pretty much any social media platform. I talk a lot, I do a lot of things. Mostly I do it under the term Lulu H. You can find me on Twitch next on Tuesday, where I'll be playing the Thunderstruck campaign on twitch.tv/Almighty Tales, where I pretend to be a grumpy wood elf. Pretty much the opposite of Poppy is what I play. Today's favorite moment, I was gonna say that I really loved the boudoir moment, but I think my other favorite thing was Danny's reaction to the mac and cheese. Having mac and cheese for dinner. I think that was pretty funny.
That may end up having to be the episode title, something to do with that. Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Excellent. Well, that was great. I loved the whole thing, honestly. I loved how well things started gelling in this episode. I like that we've got now more meteor stuff going on, and that there's definitely something is terribly wrong that we were attempting to discover. So that is excellent. Let's see. I think that I'm just sort of looking over a couple things. Anyway, but yeah, let me get my outro out here. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I've got links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and the most recent short story I've released. On Friday afternoons and Saturday and Sunday mornings, I play video games. Right now I'm playing through Torment, Tides of Numenera, We Happy Few, and the Gold Rush Anniversary Edition, respectively. On Sunday evenings, I do one-shots, and this Sunday we're playing a modern Call of Cthulhu scenario run by guest GM Kelly Lane, and that will take place in an unnamed popular Swedish furniture store. And tune into that. I think it's going to be absolutely nuts. Speaking of one-shots, also, I am still looking for a couple of players for Bad Streets. That is a 70s cop show style game that is powered by the apocalypse. It hasn't been published yet, but its creator Jib, whom you may know from Happy Jack's RPG podcast, is going to be running it. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to be hosting that the last Sunday of the month. So if you'd like to look into that, you can follow the game sign-up link down below on the Twitch page, or go to jimyesthatjim.com. I've received the playbooks. I haven't had a chance to go over them in detail yet, but what I've seen so far looks really cool, especially if you're into those older police dramas. So I recommend check it out if you're at all interested. And of course, 1 week from today, we will be back with the next episode of Dirty Secrets, Emerald Tempest. When we go to the end card, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw a raid once more to Tales from the Grim. They are playing Dungeon of the Mad Mage, a delightful interpretation thereof. And so I'll be doing that, so stick around for that if you so desire. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, folks. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell!